What up, guys? I'm gonna be doing a real quick review on the movie War for the Planet of the Apes. First of all, I've been a huge fan of the new trilogy of movies for the Planet of the Apes franchise. I like the original movies, but those were all about costume and design and prosthetics. While these have been CGI, story, you know, and okay, so this movie's so good. It's I don't know, to me it reminded me of like a classic war movie, uh like a like a POW movie, like a captured in war movie. Oh, first of all, spoilers before we get, cuz I'm too excited not to like probably, spoil something. Um and you guys know me. First of all, Andy Serkis deserves an Oscar. First of all. But okay, and then we start breaking down the movie. So the movie is so quiet. Like there's not dialogue. This isn't like Aaron Sorkin dialogue where it's like pop 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 pop. Like since the second one, I think they kind of you spent a lot of time with the apes. You spend a lot of time with like sign language and reading cues. Um, same thing. This time like the movie's just quiet and it draws you in and it makes you read subtitles and it's just like gorgeous landscapes and like it shows you the way apes have been living and protecting themselves. It opens up to like this beautiful fight between like this platoon and the apes because they're trying to find out where Caesar's been hiding in the woods because they're trying to kill him. um and like this takedown of the platoon, but Caesar still shows humanity and lets them live. Um, which at the end of the day kind of serves as his downfall. But okay, so like the overarching story of Planet of the Apes is it kind of parallels slavery. You know what I mean? Like they were captors by humans. They weren't seen as equals. They still aren't. And now they're seen as like these oppressors or the end of humanity that need to be dealt with. And but they just want to be left alone. They just want to live a normal life, with their families in the woods, and they give that option to the soldiers, which is like leave us the forest, like just let us be in the forest. You guys go and do your thing. There'll be peace. We won't kill you guys. You guys don't kill us. Um, so that's set up. Caesar, you know, gives that up or informs them of that. So he's showing compassion and mercy. But like he says later on in the movie, what Koba did was basically break any sort of possibility of there being peace between humans and apes. Um, you know, and that was the second movie. That's all that dealt with. So this one is all out war. Um, and in war, bad shit happens. And the colonel, played by Woody Harrelson, who does a great performance. I felt like when I was watching it, Woody Harrelson was like Marlon Brando in Apocalypse Now. That's who he reminded me of. And like there's scenes of it with him and Andy Serkis that I was like, holy shit, this feels like Apocalypse Now. This feels like special, like fucking great acting. Um, okay. Then, the colonel basically slaughters half of or most of Caesar's family. One, thinking it was him, and two, just because, I mean, that it's war. He apologized. He says sorry. I mean, not that he means it or not that it matters because I mean the deed's been done and it kind of fills Caesar with hatred. Later on he compares himself to Koba. He's like, I can't let it go. He killed my family. He killed my son, my wife. Um, but overall, I think he as an ape finds a little bit of humanity, or he sees the goodness in humanity with the little girl they find later on, Nova. And then like there's so many Easter eggs to the original movie. Um, Beautifully shot. Matt Reeves, the director, who's gonna be doing the Batman movie later on, um, is such good at building tension. Um, there's like this escape because like okay, so they capture the apes. They're in captivity and they're separate from the younglings. There's the young apes and the adult apes, and they're all like forced to work in this concentration camp style place, right? There's an escape scene that's so tense, like you wish you like just get out, like do it faster, make it fast, like get. But like Matt Reeves is such like a fucking masterful director that he just lets that tension build and build and build, and then once they start getting out, you feel so happy. They introduce another ape who like he's like this ape that escaped from a zoo. He's been out there by himself, just grinding it out. Everyone in his herd um, has basically been like has died or been killed or whatever. Um, and he's out there by himself, and he taught himself how to talk. So he's kind of introduced, um, and what he injected the movie with was with humor. Um, he's kind of a coward, but he's kind of like also kind of brave, or at least forced to be brave. Um, but he stole a lot of his scenes when he's on. The theater was dying, like they were like laughing and having a good time, because the movie's kind of a serious movie, but where he was on there, um, he does for a great he does for a great comedic relief. The girl's great, the little girl Nova. I mean, it's just like they tie so many like in the original movie. Nova, she can't speak, and you never know why. But in this movie, they explain that the virus has, kind of shifted and not just killed humans, but the remaining humans that were alive. It's kind of like breaking down their core and like taking away their functions to like be human, to like talk and have higher functioning brains and have higher thought. It's basically making them just apes, um, and not smart apes like these guys. There's just kind of like I don't know. It's just breaking down their humanity and making them dumb. It at first mute, but yeah. So yeah, so that's how it kind of connects to the first one, and that's like the big battle between the Colonel and his inner struggles is that he wants to kind of purify um, the remaining pieces of Earth or humans, not by killing off all the people that are getting um, the disease, because I mean that's what makes them human. Like, how do you keep the humans alive? Uh, if the ones that are left over aren't human and can't talk and can't have higher functioning brains and can't have higher thought, and so he's forced to kill his own son, and thus making the ultimate sacrifice of what he believes is right, but people don't agree with him. So basically, it becomes human versus human, because and the apes are kind of stuck in the middle of it. Uh, what else? Okay, sorry guys, I'm rambling. I fucking love this movie. I love this trilogy. Uh, all right, all right. I'm gonna stop. And okay, Andy Serkis deserves an Oscar. First of all, the the amount of acting he could do with just his eyes, like literally just his eyes, is fucking amazing. Like how much emotion, how much he can portray, like how much pain, how much suffering, like how much he can just portray with his eyes is out of this world. Um, Steve Zahn as Marcellus is also fucking amazing. Woody Harrelson, uh Judy, well, she wasn't in that much, but the little girl, geez, everyone, like it's a perfectly casted movie. I felt like the first, like from the last movie, and kind of like the champions of this movie, which is Caesar, Rocket, Marcellus, uh, the new ape, um, and the little girl. Like that team, they're so good. Um, you cheer for them, you like root for them, which is weird because as a human, you think you'd be you know kind of cheering on like humans, but you're like no, you want the ape. Well, I mean, also we already know what's gonna happen. The original Planet of the Apes kind of set that up. We already know that it's gonna become a Planet of the Apes, so we like ultimately we already know where this is going. This is just about the journey. Um, it's like it's a good ending to the trilogy. I mean, it leaves us in a space where Caesar did what he wanted to do, which was one, free his apes, keep them away from trouble, and take them to a promised land where they could live and set up like a society where not live, where they could make a life that that it's worth living. Um, so it's like the thing that like the poetic fucking thing about it is that he showed humanity and let these soldiers go um, in the beginning of the movie. He's like, we are not savages. We show mercy. We want peace. Like this, and they they kind of follow this one soldier. He's not. He just they just kind of mention like how great of a shot he is, um, and they don't. He's not like in the front. He's not Woody Harrelson. He's not like a top billed actor, but like his importance is so like great because first he's shown he's basically pardoned. He's not killed by Caesar, um, and in the while they're in jail, like when they're jailed, he's the one who's kind of he puts the arrowhead to Caesar. Not the arrowhead. I'm sorry. The arrow, and he's basically the one who's just like following him around, and you feel like, oh, like this guy looks like he might, is he gonna free him? Is he gonna help out in some way? And no, he ends up giving Caesar the final blow. Uh, he shoots Caesar while Caesar's trying to explode this wall, this dam situation where basically like Caesar's trying to deliver a final blow, but he gets shot. Even though he like kind of lives at that moment, he doesn't die immediately. He gets to travel with his apes and get to the promised land, get to where they're finally gonna be free. They're gonna finally live. He sits down with his best friend. He looks around. For a second, he feels like this sense of calmness, like we're here, we made it. He sees all the apes, the little girl, they're all playing. And eventually he just knows that like his job is done. Um, and it was time for him to join his wife and son. And, that arrow basically, like, forgiving that guy and letting that kid, that soldier live basically cost him his life. But I feel like he did what he sought out to do, and like that's such a bummer. Like we don't want like we followed Caesar from when he was like a baby monkey, and James Franco was teaching him how to talk, to now where he's like liberated apes and he's brought them to the promised land, and like mankind shouldn't be a problem no more. They eventually killed themselves, um, or the flu did, and now when he can finally when he can finally enjoy the fruits of his labor, he dies because of a wound, and it's a bummer. But I mean, that's how these stories go. Uh, oh man, it's such a good movie. Uh, you guys should check it out. It's like if it wasn't like if this was just released like earlier in the decade, like around when Lord of the Rings was happening, it would have won all the Oscars. Sorry, it would have won all the Oscars. But now, the amazing CGI and the amazing like motion capture that's being done in these movies is not as appreciated because there's so much CGI in all the movies. But the motion capture shit is fucking amazing, and Andy Serkis is such a great actor. I can't get over how good he is as Caesar, and how good like the whole cast is. It's amazing, guys. Check out War for the Planet of the Apes, the ending of the trilogy, one of the strongest trilogies uh, of the last decade. I mean, another trilogy this strong, especially like how the third movie is good. Even the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight trilogy. Like the first one's good, second one's great, the third one, eh. This one, first, second, third movie, all of them great, all of them good, all of them like explore character and like they have good story and like good CGI and good, you know what I mean? So Planet of the Apes, to me, is one of the better trilogies of this decade. I can't think of another trilogy that was like that's that good. And that all has to do with great storytelling, great directors, and great acting. Um, so, guys, check out War of the Planet of the Apes. Leave a like, leave a comment. You guys know what to do. Check you guys later.